Emma Moran, delighted to have you on. I've been trying to get this podcast sorted for a long time. I've loads of stuff to talk to you about, so we're going to fly into it. Before you became, I suppose, known as the woman that brought chicken fillet rolls to London, what was your kind of brief rundown of what you were up to?
And so I used to sell wine.
Okay.
So yeah, two things easy to sell. But yeah, this work. So I came to London about 12 years ago, and I worked in kind of national account management, and then working for kind of different route to market. So managing kind of all the kind of large route to markets that would kind of supply to the on trade. So kind of weirdly not massively dissimilar, but yeah.
So how you were kind of in the corporate world, had a good job. Bring me back to the time then when it first came into your head that you want to actually venture ahead with this new business. What was the thinking back then?
I think like it just kind of honestly just happened so organically. Like it's just, I think it's just something when you're away, you just think about things you miss from home so much, and it would just always be coming up in conversation over and over again. My nana used to have a shop that my aunt and uncle took over, the coconut in Walkinstown, and my cousin Michael runs it now. And just yeah, I don't know. I guess just when I was growing up, I just thought the shop was the coolest thing ever. And then being over here and kind of just. I think it's just something obviously in Ireland, just because like every shop, every petrol station, just everywhere you are at home, you have a deli counter. And I guess I just took it for granted that it existed. And then I guess when you're not in Ireland, you're like, oh, like that's an Irish thing. And then, yeah, it would just happen so much. We'd always talk about like, oh, the one thing I'd love. And then my other job was actually going really well, to be fair. So it was a bit scary to kind of think about giving it up. Um, but then we ended up going through kind of a bunch of restructures, and yeah, it just wasn't. I wasn't loving it kind of as much as
Yeah.
I used to. But yeah, kind of like most things, just we'd gone from like a team of four to a team of one, and I was like, oh god, it's getting a bit tough. And then I was in the London Irish Centre, and I had done an event there for work. And I remember packing up one day, and all the staff were just sitting around the table, and they were literally just saying, "Man, the one thing you can't get." And I remember just thinking, "Oh, this is such a sign, like just." Over. But I actually did keep my job until March this year. So yeah, that was a really important thing for me to do,
Yeah.
because yeah, there's no way I could
Of
have,
course. Yeah. Especially when you're living in London, you're paying the
especially
big bucks.
yeah. No, and yeah, it took the pressure off a little bit, because yeah, definitely when you're starting as well, there's absolutely no money coming in. So, trying to kind of keep some type of steady income is pretty important.
For sure. So on the I'm going to ask you the strangest question, however, but chicken fillet rolls in London, like surely they exist, right? They have delis and stuff, or no?
No, so well, I think here they have like loads of cafes, like cafes and stuff. And I always think maybe that's kind of the
Yeah.
equivalent, or maybe that's kind of why it doesn't exist. But again, that is like a different experience. They do have some kind of, I think, like in the city and stuff, they have some kind of like, they do have a few kind of delis and stuff, but they're more kind of like Italian style.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just not a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you about I suppose Irish food or just Ireland in general. You mentioned there that like, and I've experienced this. I lived in London. I lived abroad, where you kind of feel like you feel you really understand, like you really feel more Irish when you go abroad. Talk to me about your whole, I suppose, experience with that and what Ireland means to you.
Oh no, I love home. Like I have lived away for kind of, it's like so long now, so I am used to it.
There's a lot.
But no, like London is great, and yeah, I'm really lucky. There's kind of been a bunch of my best friends from home kind of since I moved. And when we first moved over, we were kind of all scattered around, but we've all kind of just somehow kind of all ended up living real close to each other and stuff, which is great. Um, but yeah, there's such an insane kind of Irish community here, and it's wild because when I first moved over, kind of Clapham I actually never really lived over there, but that kind of seemed to be kind of where most Irish kind of people
Yeah.
kind of tended to move to. But now where we are in Hackney is it's just nuts. Like, and our first market was Broadway Market, and even if I walk down Broadway Market like every Saturday, just every person in front of me in the pub, in the shop, everyone's Irish.
Yeah. We have John Shields there left a comment. He owns a couple of businesses in Galway, but he said it was a great idea. Is most of your customers Irish, or do you get kind of a good balance between the Brits and the Irish?
So definitely when we started, it was massively an Irish queue. But actually, it's been really nice to see that it has kind of, I'd say, leveled out. So I'd say now it's probably about 50-50, which is lovely because also as well, like I'm kind of from talking to all the different food traders and stuff, I think fried chicken here is a
Yeah,
massive seller. And
yeah,
we do fry our chicken. So that's, I think, maybe one thing different to the way it's done at home, and it's not done in the oven. We do, yeah. So it does come out kind of very crispy,
yeah.
which is great.
Deadly. I have to ask you about like the PR behind your business has been absolutely insane. Like when I look at the business just from the outside,
Yeah,
obviously, the product's great, the brand is cool, and, it ticks a lot of boxes, but the PR has been off the charts. Um, like, I don't assume this is the case, but I'd be like, geez, did they put €10,000 into some good PR agency? Because you were on all the major sites. Even Marty Morrissey was talking
I
about
know.
you. That's got to be like the biggest.
Oh, but like, yeah, it was so wild, and but also like they like I wouldn't really get notice of that, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So I just get a message from someone saying, "Oh my
yeah,
God, this you're on this," or "This person said it to you," or something. I'd be like, "What?" So I kind of found out at the same time. To be honest, I probably saw it at the same time you saw it, which was wild. But no, what happened? And it's such a stroke of luck, and like I am so grateful for how I know. But there is an Irish food blogger called Bop Foodie, and she came down to the stall with. So we started it in October. We were kind of taking along. We were getting busier and busier, but like nothing mental. But it was definitely getting. Yeah, we were starting to kind of get a good old queue, and then this girl came down. And she never said she was like an influencer or anything like that, and she ended up getting the last roll. So yeah, it's just funny how things work out.
yeah.
She ended up getting the last roll, and the following weekend, I turned up to work none the wiser, and there was just this queue down the road, and I was like, "What's going on?" So I actually thought it was for the trader next door to us, and who was a guy called Fabio, and I was like, "Oh my God, Fabio, you're so busy today," and he was like, "Emma, that's for you," and I was like, my heart just fell out because I was like, "Oh my God." We only I'd only planned for kind of a much smaller amount
Yeah,
of
yeah,
people, and all these people were just in this queue, and like they had their phones out, and they're like blah blah blah, and I'm not on TikTok, like nothing like that. And then yeah, this girl came up, this really lovely girl, and she was like, I think it took about an hour and a half, and I was like, what? Like, why are you all here? And
yeah.
she was like, have you not seen TikTok? And I was like, no. And then she's like, you've got 86,000 views. And I remember just thinking, what? And I think that there was actually a report done a few weeks ago, and they said the chicken fillet rolls from Emerald had gone up to like 16.4 million views on TikTok,
Wow.
which is wild because I obviously tried to start a TikTok account then, and it's massively behind. But yeah, I genuinely think it was down to her, and we had another girl called Jordan the week before come, and I genuinely, I think, yeah, one bit of advice for anyone would just be learn TikTok. I still have to do it, but I think then just from that there seemed to be this like media pickup,
Yeah,
which I'll never understand, but very grateful.
yeah. Tell me about the London. I'm the London food scene. I'm obsessed with. I go over there every year, and just spend a load of money on good food. What's your kind of take on it? How's it at the moment?
Oh no, it's great, but I have to say, I don't think you can beat food at home. Like when I go back, and I'm always so like, you know, just the freshness that you get at home, I think is incredible. And I just think, yeah, the standard at home is completely unbeatable, I think. But I think from being in London now, what I'm loving is obviously just seeing all the different market traders, and obviously just this huge kind of cultural, um, from so many different yeah, just so many different kind of backgrounds and stories. And what was I trying the other day? It was Basque Street Boys, and it was this type of kind of corn tortilla
Oh,
sandwich with black pudding and this really type of like salty ham and cheese. And oh, it was just insane. And yesterday we were having san noodles, which is these from these two English guys. They're so fantastic. And I was actually saying to them we might start doing a bit of work with them as well coming up to Christmas. But yeah, I just seem to have kind of tapped into this kind of food trader world where everyone, just the passion everyone has for kind of getting their food and stories across is pretty incredible.
so I want to finish up on talking about the future for you guys. So obviously you're doing. I know I saw recently you put up that you have a kind of a mobile unit now, a
Yeah.
van. You're hitting the road. What's the long term goal for this? Are you going to be bricks and mortar? Are you going to be all across the UK? Or
Bricks and mortar, if I'm being honest, hasn't really ever attracted me, just because obviously I'm coming from hospitality and the pub trade, and there's so many closures. And obviously I'm following what's happening at home very closely. And I know everyone at home's giving out about the VAT, but like here it's
yeah,
20%. It's really tough. So mobile for me works better. And we're just starting a pub delivery service, so we're going to be delivering our food into
oh,
a lot of the different Irish pubs, which is brilliant. I've just set up my delivery kitchen last week, so that's up and running now. So we're on Uber Eats. We'll be on delivery next week. Already going into the pubs this week. Getting the truck booked for kind of corporate bookings, Christmas parties, all the festivals next year. And then the gazebo then still kind of being used for, yeah, just a lot of outdoor events as well, where you're not able to have a truck. And then also kind of expanding the menu to kind of catering platters, and then also kind of an indoor kind of menu function as well. So that we're kind of able to kind of do things where we're not kind of, there'd be certain kind of things where you'd be asked, but like you might be able to kind of fry food or have kind of live cooking inside. So yeah, just developing the menu that we're able to kind of cater for those opportunities as well.
deadly. I mean, there's so much
Yeah.
routes you can take the business without having to look at like just bricks and mortar, isn't
Yeah.
there? Like,
I just paying rent on the high street, like it's scary to me at the moment, because it just feels like the future that's unknown. And I don't know, I know financially it's difficult, like. And even I don't take people going out for lunch for granted at all.
yeah,
And so I think us being adaptable and trying to kind of test the water kind of in a mobile sense, it kind of makes sense for us at the moment.
yeah. Very last one for you, Emma. Could you just explain to me I found it very interesting, the pub delivery situation, where that idea comes from. It sounds cool.
Um, it's just been an idea for a while. So yeah, yeah, I guess just coming from a pub background, working in pubs a lot, and then yeah, in my job, my previous job, just applying to them. So just having a good relationship with them, and kind of the location of our delivery kitchen. So
Okay.
we are going to be, yeah, well, we currently are, and then kind of planning to expand that at the moment.
And logistically, how does it work? Does the customer order through Deliveroo, or is it like?
Yes, so we're actually working with a couple of different kind of driving different
Right.
companies at the moment.
Yeah.
Um, so we're just kind of testing. We've got it up and running with a couple, but I'm still kind of testing it kind of before we're kind of, I guess, able to kind of template it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the delivery bit is the trickiest bit to get around, but it just kind of made sense to me, because again, running a kind of full-time kitchen, if you are a pub, is quite expensive as well. So hopefully we're able to provide a service to places where maybe they might have it'll increase then business for them by people
Of
staying
course,
on.
yeah. And why not? If you're in an Irish pub, you're having a pint, and then
It makes
next thing
sense.
you get a chicken fillet roll. Sounds perfect to me.
It sounds perfect to me.
Lovely, Emma. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, and
Oh, you too. Thank you so much
I've
for having.
loved the success that you've had, and I'm really
Oh
rooting for you. And it's
no,
great that,
we're not there yet, but no, thank you so much. And honestly, the support in like a million years, I never thought people would be this kind. It's great.
lovely. Thanks, Emma.
Thank you so
All the
much. Bye
best.
bye.
Chat to you soon.